Anyone who watches Peppa Pig knows that more than 20 years have already passed, but it's like time has never really changed. Do you know all the theories about the future of the series when Peppa, George, and Evie Pig grow up? If George has his dinosaur and Peppa has Teddy, then Evie Pig, the family's new little one, will also have her favorite toy, and we already know what it's going to be. Evie is going to have a panda bear. It's more than clear that Evie is joining the series to become the fans' new favorite character, not because Peppa won't be the protagonist anymore, but because a really big change is happening. That means we're entering a new era of the show, before Evie and after Evie, when time finally starts moving forward, and that's why her favorite toy will be a little panda bear. When creating a character like Evie, many questions are asked, and one of them is, how do you catch the fans' attention? And our information points out that the show's fans love pandas. The panda is probably the animal that's most successful on the internet, especially on YouTube and TikTok, and that's why we're absolutely sure it will be Evie's favorite toy when she grows up. But you don't need to wait until that day to come find out more about the show's future. Another Cinewave is starting right now. Evie will grow up to school age very soon, maybe within just a single season, because as we've already said, it's time for a change. That also means George will be the older brother at school, while Peppa moves on to a different place. Evie should start attending Madame Gazelle school when she turns 2 years old, just like George, who will already be speaking normally by that point. So a few things are going to happen before that. George will be able to say more words besides dinosaur. Peppa will probably change schools and turn 8 years old. When it's time for Evie to start school, Madame Gazelle will be teaching a new generation of little ones, including baby Alexander and the younger siblings of Rebecca Rabbit. No one knows if Evie will be a very smart student like Edmund Elephant, but it's almost certain she will be, for one simple reason. Since Edmund will probably change schools too, because he's a genius, Evie might also be a brilliant character, and that would explain her quick development. When time moves forward, Evie will need friends who are closer to her, just like her older siblings. Peppa has lots of friends, like Susie Sheep, Rebecca Rabbit, Emily Elephant, and Zoe Zebra. Meanwhile, George has Richard Rabbit and Edmund Elephant. But Evie needs her own crew, and we already know who they're going to be. Of course, Evie's first friend will be her cousin Alexander, who's going to attend Madame Gazelle's school with her. But there will also be others, and you know exactly who they are. Rose and Robbie Rabbit, the younger siblings of Rebecca and Richard. These little ones are going to have lots of adventures all over town, and one of them will probably involve jumping in mud and digging holes with the Rabbit twins in search of treasure. It's very likely that the friendship in Evie's crew will happen because they'll feel left out, since Peppa probably won't want to play with little kids. The protagonist will definitely be turning 8 years old, and just like her cousin Chloe, our main piggy will likely lose patience with the younger ones. When that day comes, Evie and her friends will head out on an adventure and create a secret club called Evie's Crew. Maybe that will be the moment when a new series begins, with Peppa's sister as the main character. And the coolest part is that no one besides them will know the club exists. Are you ready to keep this secret? Adventures with pirates and fairies are coming. Would you be part of Evie's crew? Comment #Evie so we can get to know ya. There's another character who's just about to be born and is probably the next big thing in the Peppa universe. She's going to be a great friend of Evie's, and her name will be Camille Cow. This new character is the daughter of Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow after their wedding. We know this character is on the way because Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow's wedding was the last big event in the show before Evie was born. And yes, they were setting the stage for the upcoming announcements. Mr. Bull's family is going to grow very soon, but the reason we're talking about Camille now is because she represents another shift in the series. We've explained that from now on, time in Peppa's world will truly start moving forward, and the birth of new babies is the start of that. Camille Cow is the next little one to be born in Peppa's world, and she'll be part of Evie's crew along with the others, but in a different way. The Peppa universe needs to introduce some changes, like characters with differences, just like Mandy Mouse who uses a wheelchair. Camille will definitely have some kind of special trait that helps fans feel connected to her, but it hasn't been confirmed what that will be. Even so, it's more than certain that Evie will play a big role in all of this. Do you remember when Peppa helped Mandy Mouse climb the hill? It'll be just like that with Evie and Camille. They'll be adventure partners, and that's why everyone's going to love this duo.
You don't love me!
Peppa's first word was mummy, and George's was dinosaur. But what will Evie Pig's first word be? She'll probably say something related to what this little piggy loves the most, and we're betting it will be food. Yes, it's more than clear that Evie will be a piggy with a big appetite, not just because she's a piggy, but also because Evie is a Taurus. Of course, some people don't believe in that kind of thing, but it's still a great trick when it comes to creating a character's personality. Evie Pig was born on May 20th, and people born under that sign love to eat. And because of that, her first word will be food. It's going to take a little while before we hear Evie's words, but our information shows that the production team is already looking for an actress to voice the little piggy. That's proof that time is really going to start moving forward in the show starting next season. The After Evie era is about to begin. Even if Evie starts talking, you'll only really feel time moving forward when this character starts running, and it won't take long before we start seeing her walking. How do we know this? Simple. The fact that Evie exists forces the creators to help her grow quickly because this little piggy is the big change in the story. You get that, right? Evie growing up means she can already play and take part in adventures. A baby couldn't be part of any of that, so time in the show will pass very quickly for us to see Evie grow. She might start walking as soon as the next season, and there's a perfect opportunity for it. Mud puddles. Peppa loves jumping in muddy puddles with George, but how will Evie play with her siblings? In the future episode Evie Steps, Peppa and George will wake up one morning after a heavy rain. The family pig's garden will be full of muddy puddles, and the next morning the protagonist has the best idea. "Let's jump in the mud, George," she'll say, and her brother will definitely love the idea, but Evie will start crying. The reason is simple. She wants to play with her siblings, but can't because she doesn't know how to walk yet, so she'll watch Peppa and George having fun. That's when the new little one will feel such a strong desire to go play that she'll actually start walking for real. The door of the pig family house will open, and Evie will head over to the muddy puddle to play with her siblings. This will be the episode where Peppa's sister takes her very first steps. And all of that is only possible because time is finally going to start moving forward. But our videos are only possible because you're here, so subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell.
Brilliant!
When time moves forward, Aunt Dottie will give Evie a present. Remember that she gave Peppa and George a rocking horse on wheels, a very dangerous toy. But with Evie, the present will probably be different. Maybe a tricycle or even a cell phone. Aunt Dottie lives in the United States, so it's hard for her to appear in the show. But maybe that's actually a good opportunity for the future. After all, there's nothing stopping Aunt Dottie from getting married and having kids. When time moves forward in the show, it's very likely that'll happen, since Aunt Dottie is part of Peppa's family, and there aren't many pigs in the series. It's important that she has little ones too. You know the theory that there are no other pigs in the show, and the creators heard fans talking about that. That's why Evie was born, and it's also why Aunt Dottie showed up in the Thanksgiving episode. In other words, time has passed, and now it's more than time for Aunt Dottie to get married and have kids. Is that what the creators are keeping as a surprise for the future? Have you noticed that neither George nor Peppa know how to steer a boat? That's super strange because Grandpa Pig is a sailor and has taken his grandkids sailing several times. Maybe they're just not interested in that, but Evie might really want to become a little sailor piggy, and that would be really cool. Just imagine that. When she grows up, the new character will love the sea. Grandpa Pig will definitely want to teach his new granddaughter how to steer a boat, and the fans will be so happy when that happens because it means more sea adventures. Fishing trips, pirates, sea monsters. That's really awesome, and will only be possible when time moves forward and the characters grow up. Speaking of growing up, it's more than time for Peppa to confess to Pedro Pony how she feels about him. She's already told Susie in the episode The Future that when she grows up, she plans to marry Pedro. If Evie is going to grow up, then Peppa and George will too. And in the case of our protagonist, she's going to get interested in makeup and boys. The Little Piggy show will have to explain exactly how this kind of thing will happen, since up till now, no one has seen a pig dating a pony. But that's totally fine because they've already kissed. Well, Peppa gave Pedro a little kiss during the school play, and everyone saw it happen. It's very possible that they'll start dating in the next few episodes, so you'd better get ready for this big announcement, because if time moves forward in the show, Peppa will soon stop being a kid and become an adult very soon. But it doesn't matter how old you are, you can always be our fan. We've got 2 more videos ready for everyone to enjoy. See you in the next one. Bye for now.